Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. First of all, thanks a lot for your comments, suggestions and subscriptions. In this video, we are going to learn about the basics of ray optics. This is the 12th standard portion. So, introduction to ray optics. We should know what is ray and what is optics. So, optics is nothing but the light. Light is also called as electromagnetic waves. Other than the electromagnetic waves, we have X-rays, gamma rays, UV rays, and radio waves. Light also travels in a straight line in a medium. It is also able to deviate from a medium when it strikes an obstacles or an interface. Optics can be explained in two different aspects like ray optics and wave optics. Here in this video, we are going to see about ray optics. So what is ray? It is the representation of the light rays. It is also represented in a form of an imaginary line that is drawn with a small arrow in front of it. It can be imagined as sun rays or laser beams. The geometrical optics is confined to the study of the electromagnetic waves. So these electromagnetic waves are emanating from a charged particles. So when these charged particles are emanated in a form of a waves, it is in the form of a concentric circles like alternatively dark and bright rings. So as it moves farther away from the source, these concentric circles will become very bigger in size and the curvature will be decreases and the radius will be increased. At a sufficiently large distance, this curvature becomes a straight line which is nothing but the plane wave. So a ray of light gives the information about the direction of the light. It is the path of the light which is called as the ray of light. And such a rays put together, we call it as a beam of light. So some of the key points we are going to discuss in this video, that is first point is the definition of reflection and its laws, and some of the definition and terms that is used in the spherical mirrors, and also the relation between the focal length and the radius of curvature. First of all, we can see what is reflection. For that, we have to consider a plane surface like a mirror we can take. And when a light rays are made to travel from one medium and it is made to incident on this reflecting surface, this ray will be reflected back. Okay. And this reflection we call it as a reflection of light. The phenomenon of light returning back from the interface is called as a reflection. We have another phenomenon like refraction that takes place in another medium. So when a light ray travels from one medium and strikes the interface and it interfere into the other medium, so that there will be change in the direction, that is called refraction. So now here the reflection. What is the reflection? The bouncing back of light into the same medium when it encounters a reflecting surface is called the reflection of light. For example, a polished surfaces like mirror we are taking. In the back surface, it is silver coated and the front surface is almost it is plain polished surface. So the 90% of the light that is falling on it will be reflected back. So the angle of incidence I and the angle of reflection is R. So this is the geometry of the reflection of light. So the dotted line that is drawn to this plane surface is nothing but the normal line. Now when an incident ray from one medium, it is made to strike over this polished surface, and theta I will be the angle that is made with that of the normal. Now the reflected ray is also will have the same angle that of the theta I, that is called the reflection of light. Now we have taking the two laws from this phenomenon of reflection of light. The first law, that is nothing but the angle of incidence should be equal to the angle of reflection. The second law is nothing but the incident ray and the reflected ray and the normal all lie in the same plane. So this is the law of reflection. So according to the law of reflection, we have these two laws. The incident ray, reflected ray and the normal all lie on the reflecting surface all lie on the same plane. and the angle of incidence should be equal to the angle of reflection. Now, if you are going to talk about the reflection, then we have to know what is spherical mirrors. So, spherical mirrors are nothing but it is a cut portion from a hollow sphere. So, these spherical mirrors are generally constructed from a glass. So, we have two different types of mirror from this spherical mirror. So, what is the two types of mirror? Nothing but the convex mirror and the concave mirror. So if the convex mirror, if the reflection that takes place from the outer surface of the convex mirror, it is called convex mirror. If the reflection that takes place in the inner surface of the concave mirror, it is called concave mirror. So this is the geometry diagram of the spherical mirror. So here I have taken AB is one part of this hollow sphere, and another this side AB is another part of the hollow sphere. These two shapes are different, which indicates this concave mirror, and first one is the concave mirror and second one is the convex mirror. So in the concave mirror, the inner portion will be reflecting. In the convex mirror, the outer portion will be reflecting. So here we have to understand this is the spherical mirror, and this spherical mirror we have a midpoint P. P is the midpoint of the spherical mirror, and we have to consider C be the center of curvature of this spherical mirror. So this center of curvature will be different for different spherical mirrors, because the spherical mirror will be of different size. The hollow sphere will be of different size. If it is bigger in size, the center of curvature will be different. So depending upon the size, the C will be differ. Now from C to P, we take the distance to be radius of curvature. Okay. Now let us consider a parallel beam of light that is made to fall on this reflecting surface. Now, if a point, when an imaginary line, we have to imagine that is the light ray is traveling through CP, that is called as the principal axis. So, the light rays after reflecting, it will be reflected in the same direction. Okay. Then the parallel rays with that of the principal axis will also be made to incident on the spherical surface. And what happens? It after reflecting, it will be focused at the point capital F. This is called as the focus point. Now we have to know the focal length. What is small f? It is the distance between the focus point and the midpoint P, which is nothing but the focal length small f, right? Now we have to understand that whenever the rays are parallel to principal axis, the after reflection it will be focused at the point capital F. So this is the focal length of the convex mirror diagram. Now if a parallel beam of light is made to fall on this convex mirror, the outer portion is reflecting one. So what happens? After diverging, it will appear to diverge and it is meeting at the point capital F. Now P to F is nothing but the focal length of this spherical mirror, and R be the radius of curvature from P to C. Now this is the another geometrical diagram. We have to note it, that is, let us consider a principal axis. As I said, it will pass through the C to P, and another ray which is very nearer to the principal axis, it is called as the paraxial rays, which is very closest to the principal axis. When the other rays which is very far away from the principal axis is called as the marginal rays. So the rays which are very close to principal axis will pass through the focus point F. Other rays apart from this paraxial rays will pass from the marginal rays, and it will be focused at the point, at some other point it will travel. So some of the terminologies in the spherical mirrors. So as I discussed before, center of curvature. The center of curvature is nothing but the C, the center of the sphere. Okay, that is the center of curvature of the mirror. And radius of curvature is nothing but the radius of the sphere is called the distance between the C to P. And pole is nothing but the midpoint of the spherical surface of the mirror. And what is the principal axis? The line that is passing through the pole and the center of curvature is called the principal axis of the mirror. And what is focal point? Focal point is nothing but the light rays that is traveling parallel and which should be very close to the principal axis. When it is incident on the spherical mirror, will converge at a point for a concave mirror, whereas it diverges from a point for a convex mirror. This point is called as a focus or focal point. And what is focal length? It is nothing but the distance between the pole and the focus. That is called the focal length. So now we are going to find out the relation between the focal length and the radius of curvature. This is very important relation. So for that we have to consider a concave mirror. So now let us consider C be the center of curvature of this concave mirror, and let us consider the incident ray is made to fall on this reflecting surface of the concave mirror. So what happens, it will be, since it is very closest to the principal axis, this incident ray will be focused at the point capital F. Now from the point C, we have to draw a normal to meet at the point P. So since it is a normal you know that it is perpendicular with that of the spherical surface, that is at 90 degree. So since it is normal, you should have an angle with that of the incident ray should be theta. Similarly, the angle will be angle of reflection will also be theta. So we have in this particular geometry, we have opposite angle of the point P will be C. Okay, that is in the form of a direction we can have. So alternate angle will be always same. So it will have theta value. Okay, so we have to consider if you take the total angle of incident and angle of reflection to be equal to 2 theta, and the point F will also be 2 theta. So from this geometry of figure, we have to consider two similar triangles. First of all, we take the triangle CPQ. Okay, from this triangle CPQ, we can take tan theta. What is tan theta now? That is opposite by adjacent side. So opposite side is nothing but PQ and adjacent side is nothing but CQ, which is the radius of curvature. So before that, we should know we have dropped a perpendicular line to meet the principal axis, which is very closest to the pole of the midpoint. Okay, since it is very smaller distance, like QP is very smaller distance, so we can neglect this distance. So we can take to be from C to P as radius of curvature, right? So now tan theta is equal to what? As I said, PQ by R. Now here in optics, we can consider whether it might be a tan theta or sin theta. It can be equivalent to the theta itself. It can be approximated to theta itself, right? So I can put here tan theta is equal to theta. So theta will be equal to what? PQ by R. So now we have to consider another triangle like FPQ. So in this triangle FPQ, we have tan 2 theta. So what is tan 2 theta from this triangle? That is PQ opposite side by adjacent side is FQ, which is the small focal length F, right? Now we can write tan 2 theta as 2 theta itself, that is equal to PQ by small f. Now from the first equation, we can take theta is equal to PQ by R, that I am going to substitute in this equation, 2 theta equal to PQ by F. So after substitution, what happens? PQ gets cancelled and we are getting the relation like 2 by R equal to 1 by F. That is equal to R equal to twice of the focal length. So now the radius of curvature is equal to twice of the focal length. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe and share this video so that all others will be benefited.